as a pastor's kid, you have an advantage of having godly parent that gives you godly foundation.
I agree that it's a positive, but what's the difference between a Christian home and being a pastor's child?
Maybe while we're teenagers, we used to see as, being intimidating or in a kind of negative way where all eyes are on you. But now that we're growing or we've grown to this level that we are, we just know that all those things were the things that helped us, were the things that shaping us, they shaping our minds. Hi, hello, welcome to Speak Table Talk, where we dive into the life of a pastor's kid with you. The highs, the lows, and everything in between. So let's keep it real and chat about the unique ride of being a minister's child. My name is Fadikemi, and with me are...
My name is Ayokunle Kolade.
And I'm Omoyemi Ojo.
Yes. And today we're going to be talking on the perks of being a pastor's kid. So Ayokunle, I'm going to start with you. Growing up, how was it like for you? What were the things that you gained? What were the positive for you as a pastor's kid?
Thank you so much, Fadikemi, for this question. I mean, this topic is an interesting one because
it is indeed.
Greatly resonate with me, and then I will be, by the grace and mercy of God, be sharing one or two experiences while I was growing up. Number one, for me was having a godly foundation. In this perverse word, if I'm being allowed to use that word, as a pastor's kid, you have an advantage of having godly parent that gives you godly foundation. And we all know how important a foundation is to any child. So the foundation helps you as you proceed in your life, because whatever that has been sown, whatever has been cemented, gives you the strength, the energy to go on and to go on in a godly direction. For example, for myself, growing up, waking up to do morning devotion, going with my parents to church. I know my parent being a pastor, I practically watch him preaching to others, practically watch him mentoring others, practically watch him leading others. So I didn't get anything less of what he was giving to people, if that makes sense. And that really helped me to become who I am today. So yes, a godly foundation is one thing I'm going to really talk about.
Can I interject you
here? Go ahead. Yeah.
So I agree that it's a positive, but what's the difference between a Christian home and being a pastor's child? Because technically, any Christian child should have that foundation, right?
That's true. Yeah, true. Very true. So, Hayatuli, what do you think?
That means I'll probably go deep into some other conversations like attending conferences, retreat, pastors meeting.
So more like remote, like molding you into being like a minister in a kind of way, like a young minister, kind of. Yeah, does that make sense? Does that resonate with what you're saying?
Yeah.
I also think I love the point that Ayokele brought about like attending all these conferences, because I think that's a clear difference, because the general church congregation may have the strong foundation you're talking about, and they can also attend conferences. But as a minister's child, the number of conferences, retreats, and everything that we have to attend over the years, it accumulates and builds a stronger foundation. So I think that's a very good point to back his first
point. It's worth sure. So what about you? I mean, what do you like? How is it for you, like for yourself?
I think I'll take it from where I kind of stopped, and I would say it has helped me with leadership skills. Because when you see your parents lead, and also as a pastor's child, you're automatically drafted into certain roles, and they tend to be leadership roles, right? Eventually you become a head of a particular department or assistant in a particular department, and you learn these skills very raw, and you get to
Mm-hmm.
practice them on a weekly basis. So I think
Very
it's helped
true.
me with my leadership skills, not just in my Christian journey or in church, but also outside. So in terms of career, in terms of any other thing I'm involved in, it comes
Yeah.
naturally to me, which I think is a great positive. Because if you compare yourself to other people in like school, secondary school, who don't go to church, who are not Christians,
Yeah.
but who are Christians, but they're not pastors' kids, there when you compare the leadership ability, you'll see a difference for sure. I don't know what you guys think about that.
Yeah, that's true. So for me, I think mine is like in two phases, and it kind of curtails. It takes the question that you asked Ayokele about, ministers. What's the difference, for ministers' children and or people that are Christians generally having that foundation. So I think mine is like divided into two, because at the beginning part of my life as a child, my dad was not a pastor. He was just like a minister, but and then I think he became a pastor in the later years of, growing up and all that stuff. So I think growing up for me was the part of the Christian home, but because being a minister, yeah, so it was more like seeing your dad, doing things on the altar and all that. Although, Redeem has a system of transferring ministers when a new parish, especially in Nigeria. I know that it doesn't really happen in the UK like that. But so I think growing up, seeing my dad do all that stuff, yeah, all those stuff, it kind of molded me to be a responsible person. And because for a few years, my dad was transferred to another parish, but because we were in the teens church, we were already active and all, my dad didn't take us along with him to the new parish he was transferred to. So we were going to that other parish that he was before. And so there was this discipline that has been imbibed already growing up as a child. So you just know that even if your parents are not there to kind of like monitor you, you just need to be a child of God, be conscious of how you're relating, because as a Nigerian child, they say it takes a village to like raise a child. So there are people that are actually literally looking at you and monitoring you, and they would literally go to tell your parents if you do anything wrong. And so so it's like there's this part of discipline, there's this part of reshaping, molding that it does to your life. And I can literally say that even for every stage of my life that I found myself in, it was something that helped me stay. Because I remember when I was in the university, where a lot of things happened. I went to University of Lagos. Oh my God. Like a lot of things happened. And I literally would just look at some people and say, why are you doing this? But there was no pressure. There was no pressure to wanting to be that kind of person, to live those kind of lifestyle, because the discipline has been there all along growing up, regardless of if your parents are there looking at you or not. So I think that's it for me. And even when I'm not even with my parents or anymore, and I'm still living on my own, there's this trust that they have, that because they know that they've left you in situations that are way worse. But right now, they can't really bother because they know that it's you, we trust you kind of. So it builds this trust, and between the parent and the children as well. So
yeah. No, I like that point you phrased, because it's usually seen as a negative, where we say that, oh, everyone's eyes is on you and you have that pressure. But I like how you've turned it around as a positive, because actually that helps you maintain your discipline and helps you maintain everything that they've taught you. So I think that's really good.
That's really good. Yeah, it's really good, because because most of us as teenagers back in the days, when you have little freedom, you tend to do what you're not supposed to do because nobody, is watching or something. But because you've actually grown up in that space of not having your parents always with you, and then when you're not transited to being an undergrad, you still maintain that dignity, still maintain that
discipline.
That had in you. So that's very good. Another thing I would like to touch on. Yemi was talking about leadership skills. being a leader because you've had the opportunity of working in maybe different units. However, one thing she didn't mention was the grace that you have to develop the gifts that God has given inside. I mean,
Yeah, true.
because I mean, as a pastor's kid, your dad being transferred to a new parish. Basically, there is no drummer, there is no usher, there is no sanitation, there is no
Sure.
drum, there is no this one, and then you have to step in those shoes, be the usher. I remember for myself on Sunday choir, Sunday Bible study, weekday usher. So that helped me to develop some certain skills that even me myself I didn't know I had inside of me. But thankfully, because I had that closeness, because I had that privilege, I mean, as the pastor's child, nobody will actually suspect you that you still trust money. So they can give you that trust to handle certain assignments. With that trust that has been given to you, you can then develop the skill to pour out the gift that God has given to you as a person. So yes, gift development, another aspect that
I like that because again, that's another one that people sometimes say is a disadvantage. Because they say, oh, how do you truly know what your calling is when you know, basically in every department? But I love what you said there, because when you're doing all these various things, it helps you identify with which one you know, God has chosen for you.
Chosen for you, yes.
So actually comes you naturally.
Exactly.
Yeah, true. Very true.
That's even though we spoke about leadership and developing skills, another thing you learn is how to serve the rules that guide service. Because sometimes it can be, especially when your parents are the pastors, it can be hard to submit to a leadership that you're very familiar with. These are the people that you at home. You see them, you see their flaws. You see, you know, the church members will only see their strengths, will only see but you see everything 360, and God trains you to serve despite of what you may know. So I think it's a great opportunity, because once you then leave to your own home or to your own family church, number one, you understand that the pastors are human. You have that understanding. Your expectations are not so
high. Yeah.
You understand that they're vessels being used by God. They have their flaws, but my duty is to make sure I give them that honor and to serve in whichever way God has given me the capacity. So I think that's another perk of
and building on what you just said now, honestly, the leadership, you know, knowing how to serve, to be honest, I feel like that reshapes a lot of pastors' kids, actually, because, you know, for example, myself, I remember that from Teens Church, I remember that there was a time where they wanted to take me from Teens Church to join the main church choir, but that my teens teacher then said no, she has to be in the Teens Church. The things that she needs to learn in the Teens Church, and it gives you know, the range of development as well, that you don't miss out of certain stages that are important in your life, because there are memories that will be created from those times, and also the things that you would learn even in that time. Because I know that when I was moving from, you know, Teens Church, graduating from secondary school, going into the university, there were so many people that, you know, they got carried away, and maybe in the later years they got their feet back. But there is this, you know, like I said, discipline, and then service as well, knowing the importance of serving God, the blessings that you see that your parents have received from being, you know, servants of God as well. And so even when you are, you know, advancing in life, you just know that there is an importance of serving God, because there is a blessing, because you've witnessed it, you've seen it. So you just know that whenever you're not even in that space, or been in your your dad's church, or been in the church that you were, and then you find yourself in a new environment, you know that there, and I like how Redeem is, because, you know, Redeem is everywhere. So you can just, even in campuses, there are Redeem fellowships as well, because I went to Redeem Christian Fellowship as well. So I joined. I just knew that I cannot be ordinary. I cannot just be sitting in the back bench and just be coming to church and, you know, and just, you get, so there was this, you know, thirst and hunger
Yeah.
for, I want to serve. So definitely, and then because of you grown as well, and over the years, you just known your strength in serving in the church back home. So for me, I've always known that I like public speaking. I'm very bold. I like public speaking, and then I also like to sing. So definitely, I just joined the choir. Like I didn't even have to think about it. I just said I wanted to join the choir where they needed, people to host events or do anything. Definitely, I will always be there. And there are a lot of people that would want to, stay back, be a back because they're in a new environment and want to just be cool and calm and quiet. But knowing the blessings that come with serving, you just know that you cannot you can't even be comfortable sitting alone, sitting in the audience or being like a member. There is this something that would say, what are you doing here? You need to serve, you need to do something. And it's not just you being busy, you've been filled with activity, but you having the knowledge that as a child of God needs you in his vineyard to walk. God needs you. So in that way, you're fulfilling God's purpose for your life as well, and not just you marking register to say, "Oh, I'm a pastor's child. Oh, daddy, this is what I'm doing in school." But basically, it just shapes you, remodel you for life, because now we're seeing where we are now. A lot of us are, being appointed as pastors, deacons, and all that. So it's like you've been your years in education, where you are in your career as well. That's how the church and being a pastor's kid is as well. So you've been shaping throughout your life. You've been sharpened as well through different stages of your life that has molded you, has prepared you for so many, responsibilities that you're carrying at the moment. And you won't feel so overwhelmed because it's something that you've been doing. It's not something that you just started. It's over the years, and that just builds you up. So, and as well, it just puts you up as a Christian in your faith as well. Because definitely you've seen where your parents have been hit by so many trials. And so as a Christian, your faith is strengthened because you can just look back at different stages of your life where your parents also had issues like that, or even you yourself as a Christian has faced, different trials, circumstances and all that. And once you just remember how God helped you through those stages, you just know that I'm in God's hand and my future is in him. And, basically, so.
You need to be about your father's business. You have that understanding, the deep understanding of not just walking, but serving, being just as Jesus Christ told his spirit that he need to be about his father's business. And in the place of serving, there is blessing. But as speaking, there is extra blessing. You know what I mean? Because as a pastor, if you're serving and then you get blessed by other pastors, your dad's friends, for example, can you just, that is Pastor so-and-so's child. God bless you. The way it's going to bless you be different from the way it's going to bless the other person, even though you both are probably doing the same thing. But because your dad's friend, the blessing is going to pour on you, like the blessing is on his own child. So as PK, another thing I believe you also get is unsolicited blessings from our father's friend, our mom's friend that are also pastors in the ministry. Because the way they come to us, the way they will bless us, the way they will treat us.
Yes.
You're in a conference, a retreat with other people, and then
honestly,
you get to get something done, you get to do this, you get to do that. Because you are a PK and because maybe the person in charge is your dad's friend, it's going to just help you walk things through, give you a smooth ride to make sure that whatever you need to do at that point in time is easily done. You get to get maybe promotion, maybe even they are probably selecting executives, and you were probably in that space as a PK. Definitely they are going to want to go for you.
Let's just, I'm just gonna add to what you're saying for those listening. Obviously, as much as they are giving you that favor or granting you that favor, you obviously have the capability. It's not that they just give anyone because they know them, but they can see that, okay, this person has been trained well and I know them, so I can trust them.
So
I
all in the place of service as well.
Yes.
Not just
Yes.
So
add to what you said, because we're talking about blessings now. Oh my goodness. just wait for your wedding day. That's when you will know you're a PK.
Honestly,
yeah. Wait till your
Absolutely.
wedding day. Honestly, the gifts, the support, everyone. Then you
Honestly.
see your parents reap the fruit of their labor. The church members, everyone is just wanting to support because they know the support that they've received. I honestly say that weddings always expose, the goodness that you've done in people's lives because they're willing to pay some sacrifice or just something to assist you. So yeah, in terms of blessings, not just weddings anyways, anytime there's some sort of celebration in your life, the family of believers are always there. They go the extra mile to support, which I think is amazing.
Yeah, so yeah, honestly, like you just took the words out of my mouth because I was going to say that, like the favor, when we're praying and we're like, God, in a place where they're mentioning names, like let someone be that, like use someone, through your mercy, call my name out. So that's how it is because, they've seen you grow. They've seen how you've grown over the years, how, beautifully you've achieved things for yourself as well. And how, you stood out for yourself, how outstanding you've done remarkable things and everything. And they would just, so they don't even have to think too far. And they just say, oh, I know this person. Oh yeah, I trust this person. Just give it to this person. Like, and they would, and it's not even a part of you not looking for a guarantor. You already have a ready-made guarantor, like someone that is willing to stand for you to say, you know what, I trust this person, choose this person. I can say anywhere, I can vouch for this person, and that's the beauty of it. And because I think growing up, maybe while we're teenagers, we used to see as being intimidating or in a kind of negative way where all eyes are on you. But now that we're growing or we've grown to this level that we are, we just know that all those things were the things that helped us, but the things that shaping us, is shaping our mind. Because, if there was this insecurity of, if I do this, people will say, oh, and the pastor child is doing this. Because there was the time I sat down to myself to say that, how Nigerian mothers can be, and I think mothers generally or African parents can be, where they are so disciplined, like they're disciplinarians to the core, and then you feel like they're not even letting you breathe. And when I see myself now and see where I am now, I just know that I wouldn't be here without those nurturing, without those shaping, because those things have helped me with decisions that I've taken in life. They've helped me at stages where I've gotten to where I'm like, no, this is not the kind of person that you are. This is not the child that you've been raised to be. You are a different person. You've been taught to be outstanding. You've been taught to be excellent. You've been taught to be remarkable. So you having those core values at the front of boldly written in your heart, you just know that you can't just settle for less. You can't just be anybody else. You have to be, because a lot of people are looking at you, and not just yourself. You're creating a pathway for younger people, younger generation as well, that are looking at you, that I've seen the remarkable things that you're doing. And they definitely are saying, I want to be like you. I want to be, and definitely you are praying that they should be greater than you, but you're not just living for yourself now, you're living for generations to come. And that's the beauty of it, because it's just shaping thoughts, and it just helps us to, strengthen us in our walk with God as well. You're vibrant, you're firebranded. So honestly, the pecs, if we keep going on and on, there's so much, because I know a lot of people who settle and focus on the negative, get discouraged, and the truth is, whatever we have pecs and they're negatives as well. And to be honest, it's not all pastor kids that would turn out to be the way you want them to be. But that's why we have the Holy Spirit. We have ourselves who are benefiting, and we know that we've benefited. And then we can also try to encourage them, try to pray for them, and help them see reasons why they can benefit as well. So honestly,
that's why I just wanted to add another positive is the networking and community that you like, PSF, for example. that you are opportune to join. So PSF is a blessing. I think when I was younger, being a PK was a pain. That's the honest truth.
I know.
We're looking back now, and like you said, they are positives because they've molded us to be great individuals. But not the reason why some of us could stay in that role and in that training process without giving up and taking advantage was because we had platforms such as Pastor Seed Family to kind of hear those that are ahead of us. You know, what we're saying now, that's what they were saying, though we couldn't see it, but it gave us hope. It gave us hope. It gave us understanding that don't worry, with time, you will see the advantages of being in such yes.
I think for me, the last thing I would like to add is being a PK gives you the advantage of seeing things at close quarters. What do I mean? No, your father is a parish pastor. Gets to church early, probably leave late, or you most likely leave late.
Definitely. I was leaving late.
People that come to church see the rosy aspect of the church, of the ministry, but you see the sins behind. You've seen the effort, the energy, the resources that your parents are putting into the advancement of the church, into the growth of the church. You've seen that the prayers, the sacrifices that they are putting in, you see how the administration of the church is being run. You have the privilege of seeing things at close quarters. You have the privilege of, knowing some things that are not public to the entire church. And this will help you. Perhaps you're going into the ministry in later life. You will know that church running administration is about coming to church every morning and leading and just preaching. There is work that needs to be done behind. There's so much of sacrifices that need to be put into the church if you want the church to truly grow. There's a lot of self-deniers, self-discipline that go into the church. So this will actually help you shape it because you've learned something. First-hand information, first-hand learning. Had the privilege of learning from your parents, both at home and in the church. Yes, that's I believe this is of being a pastor's kid, especially for those that will eventually become pastors in the future.
And then it just, how as you were saying what you were saying, and you just brought this passage where it says it's renewing of your mind, transforming of your mind. Like there is something at work in you, like those things. It's working patience, it's working long suffering, it's working a lot of things like in yourself, and before you know, you start to let go of things that are not godly in you. Like like for example, myself, I think growing up, I used to be this angry bird. My friend used to call me angry bird. But over the years, growing up, seeing how your parents will handle issues, seeing how things will be so annoying, because as our parents are pastors, they have workers, and workers will test your patience. Some workers will come late. Some workers, when you're supposed to be available for certain important meetings, that's the time they decide to be absent, and without permission. And then, your parents, instead of flaring up and, being so mad at them, it's a part where there is now placing discipline, but with love at the same time. So you're learning these things, you've seen these things, you're picking values. You're picking values from them. You're picking life lessons from them. And it's renewing your mind. It's transforming you to becoming a better person. Because whether we like it or not, those things tend to make us mature. It tends to make us more exposed as well. So when you find yourself in situations like that, you definitely know how to handle it. Because I think it helped me a lot, because I found myself in situations like that when I was 7 in school, and I had some people that wanted to be on my nerves. But seeing how my, pastors, my parents, ministers, pastors, had handled those things in the past, I just see that humans will always be humans. But there is a place of you having the Holy Spirit to calm you down, the spirit of discernment as well, and knowing how to watch your words and controlling what you say. So there is a place of building wisdom and patience.
Yes.
So honestly, it's so beautiful. If we keep going on, it's a lot. It's actually a lot. So honestly, being a PK, I think it's it's the first blessing for me. Honestly, it's the first blessing for me.
We've actually spoken well, honestly, because all of these perks have actually helped people like myself, people like Yemi, people like yourself to grow to. I mean, I believe as a PK, if you actually pay attention to your growing up, and then you have a faster pace of growing than your peers are not PKs. If I'm not, you have this level of maturity that people are not PK don't have. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, to be honest, because I mean, you've learned things first and you've been stretched.
True.
Stretched. I mean, your things are not your age in terms of responsibility wise.
Yeah.
Handed down some responsibility to handle as a PK that, I mean, for example, for someone like myself, I remember when I slightly left the teenage, and then we had our teens pastor was being transferred out, and there was a vacuum. So there was nobody to, at the time, pastor the teens church. And the teens church was actually a church. They have their own building, have their own structure. So they run their own services. So there's somebody to actually pastor the teenager. The parish pastor just said, "You're go and do it." And even at the time, he told me to come and start attending pastors' meeting because I was a pastor of the teenagers. I told him, no. He hasn't gotten to that, sir. He hasn't gotten to that. I mean, imagine that kind of a thing. So, as a PK, gives you that leverage, gives you that opportunity, gives you that edge over your contemporaries that are not PK. That's another thing I believe helped me for personally, and I believe also helped you guys as well.
Yeah. True. Yeah,
agreed.
it is.
And I just would want to just use this opportunity, as we're doing throughout this podcast, to encourage those who are younger that at the moment it might not seem like it's what we're saying, but that will be the case. And as Arakune has said, if you pay attention to the opportunity God has given you to grow, to develop yourself and to become who he has created you to be, then you will take this life opportunity with both hands and just say, Lord, use me, mold me, create me to become the person that you have already, ordained for me to be. So stay in there. If you have any challenges, we have Pastor Seeds family. Reach out to us. We'll be more than willing to, have a chat with you, discuss and guide. We have those ahead of us who are still giving us advice, because it doesn't end. You don't just stop one day, wake up one day and be like, oh, I quit. Whether you're in your parents' church or not, if your parents are pastors or ministers, you automatically have that title, and that expectation will follow you regardless of where you want to hide on this planet Earth. So I think just take the opportunity to reach, if you're struggling at all with anything, because there will be struggles, just speak to someone. And it's all about a change in perspective. Once you have that change in perspective, you will enjoy the process.
Yeah, actually, yeah. So I guess that's us for today.
Yeah.
Do we have more? Yeah, basically. So to be honest, Being a Pastor's Kid is one of the sweetest experience ever, because it stays with you to the end of your life, and the blessing is generational. To be honest, it comes like generation to generation. So yeah, to anyone who's a pastor's kid and you feel like, oh, the pressure's too much, to be honest, just stay there, because trust me, there is so much blessing.
Yes,
there is so much blessing in being a pastor's kid, like so much. So yes, thank you so much for joining us today as We spoke about the pact of being a pastor's kid. It's been so wonderful with myself and Ayokunle and Yemi. It's so beautiful to, speak about this as people that have experienced the different stages of being a pastor's kid. So I hope you do enjoy, or you did enjoy the conversation, because I'm sure that you've listened from the beginning till now. So, and if you have got, questions as well, we have a Pastor's Kid Family United Kingdom. So you can go to our Instagram page. We're there. You can reach out to us from there, and from there we can take it. So I guess that's all for today. God bless you. Do have a lovely day. Bye.
Bye.